Again, we're doing universal scaling, so make sure you do it this way instead of trying to do it by hand. And if I put 90% in there, and I can hit preview and see what it looks like. And if I don't like that and I think it's too much, I can go back up here and say, okay, well, that's a little much, maybe 92. And then check the preview, and it'll do it. So without even committing, you can preview. I'm going to actually go back to, I'm going to do it a little bit more even. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. How about I do 86? Because I might have a big frame. And I'm going to hit OK. So I shrunk it down. I know it looks like a lot, and I did do it a lot. That's okay. I'm exaggerating. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is put some graphics in the corner. So there's a lot of great graphics you can get to either download off the internet or use already pre-made inside of Illustrator, and those are called borders and frames. Borders and frames. You can get the borders and frames by going under Window, Graphic Styles, and then you see borders and frames. Brush Library. I'm sorry. And decorative. Is it decorative? Elegant curls and floral brushes. I think this is the one. Oh, here's borders right there. Borders, dash, decorative, frames, geometric, lines, novelty, primitive. So these are all kind of like frames that you can put around. They're called borders. And if you choose one of them, let's say I'm going to choose, I want decorative. Oh no, that's pretty ugly. Well, not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't know. Let's look at a different one. Where was that at? It was under brushes, was it? Window, Brush Library, borders. Let's try geometric. Ooh, no, definitely not that. How about borders, primitive? Okay, I'm not sure. Let's just try one of these, and then we can download some off the internet as well. There is some that you can download off the internet. So how do I use this? Well, how I use this is by putting a rectangle and applying this to the stroke. Okay, so how you do, if you use one of these, is you use a rectangle. Here's the rectangle, and of course I'm using a stroke, not a fill. No fill, stroke. And let's just make it black for now, and again, let's turn off the fill. And so it usually starts from the center. So if you look at one of these, let's say you're using something like this, the line would go through the center here. You see that? So it goes through the center. So I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to kind of guess right here and kind of put like this around like that. And then making sure this is on top, you go and you click on your frame and it goes and applies it to that. Okay, again, this is on top. I made a line, then I went to my border, whatever this border is, and I clicked on it and it applied it to the line. Again, it's in the center. You can see how it goes along the center. So that's a quick way to add a border. It's pretty ugly. There's a lot of cool ones online, a lot of really good graphics you can find online. If I can remember where they were. Let me think of where I had a whole bunch of them. There's also all these effects that you have as well. You can also use these decorative floral patterns that you see here. See these decorative floral patterns? Let me delete this for now. You got the idea, right? I'm going to delete that one. Another way would be to have graphics that you have around the edges. Like, let's say you wanted to have something like this. I can actually drag it from here out. So this one, again, is called Elegant Curl and Floral Brush Set. and you can kind of see them. Oh, there's some other ones here as well. But you don't necessarily have to use them as a brush. I can actually drag them out like that, and I could put them in the corner here, and then I can shrink it down. And so another way of doing this would be, and then just like I said before, I'm going to flip it. Remember my flip? So I have a nice kind of pattern here. Maybe I'm going to start with down here. I'm going to start down here. So I got a nice sort of pattern here. So what I can do then is go Object, Transform, and say Reflect. And in the Reflect window, you'll notice you got, of course, horizontal or vertical, and you can say Copy, and it'll give you something like that. And then you can kind of line it up. Where's the center? There it is. Something like that. So I have this now. And then I can duplicate that. And then I can flip that as well. Again, under Object, Arrange, Transform, Reflect. And we can reflect this way. So something like that might look nice, especially with the time frame, right? I'm talking, pre kind of modernism, right at the very end of the 18th century, 19th century. Kind of has that feel of, the posters that would be on the wall, and which would love to be walking through Paris and seeing a Toulouse-Lautrec poster on there. It'd be great. Just take off the wall, roll it up, and keep it. I actually have one of the original Mac 2 posters from the Mac 2, like the Apple ad, Mac 2. And I have a student who says, "Oh, I know Steve Jobs, he was on my street or something like that." And he's like, "I'll take it to him and I'll have him sign it for you," and he never brought it back. So he says to me, "Oh, I took it to the gym and I left it and somebody took it or something."
Probably still there. You believe that?
Sean was his name. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of these there. Again, these were underneath the Elegant Curl and Floral brush set. So you can do it that way. Again, you can just drag these out. Something like that might be nice at the bottom of your piece, just like that. Look at that. You want better ones, there's a whole bunch of them online. There's a bunch of them online. If you go to, I think I might have some links already. Let me see. No. Hold on, I think I know where it's at. M-A-G, magazine. Is that magazine? Magazine? Here's some swirls like this. Then you got ribbons, circles, arrows. Oh, look at those. Night lights. Oh, there's some animals. There's some hand-drawn decorative ornaments. flowers, foliage. I used to have links. Something like this. You can free download. Uh-oh. You think it's a virus?
Of course.
Oh, I don't know. Email address. Bill Gates. Bill at Microsoft.com. Micro? Microsoft. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it wants me to create an account. Okay. So I guess it's not gonna let me download. There was some free ones I was able to download, and there were some great floral patterns, stuff like that. And I lost the links. Hold on. There was some stuff like this. It was nice edges. I like, these things are nice for edges. Uh-oh, why am I opening a new window? Really? There's like 877 some? These are quite nice, for the edge of your paper. You got some borders here. Wedding. Look at this one. Oh, virus. I don't know. It's dangerous to download off of this. I don't like the look of this. But here's some nice frames. Adobe used to actually have a website that you could use. It was called Adobe Exchange. I don't know if they still have that. It used to be called Adobe Exchange. And so in the Adobe Exchange, they actually had the ability to download samples. And you could search by different software, right? And you could look under Illustrator. And they have gradients. What I'm looking for is edges. Some were pay, some were free. Watercolor styles, $15. Oosh. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Don't know. But there's a bunch of pre-ones, pretty good ones already built in. Let me go back. Let's look at some more. Let me try another one. This was primitive. They also have graphic styles here. What's this one? Oh, there's more fills. Banners and seals. Look at banners and seals. Those are pretty ugly. Did we try novelty already? Or primitive? So you got the ants, you got the airplanes, novelty. You got the railroad tracks. None of these are very good. That's no good. These ones were probably the nicest. Let me just put one of these in, and then we'll talk about background color. Again, stroke, and then click on that. Oh, there you go. How about that one? You like that one? That one? Or that one? That one? That one? That one? Whoosh, not that one. Not that one. Which one? This one or this one? This one?
First one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So another thing you might want to do is add a color to your background. Remember, maybe this is an old Toulouse-Lautrec paper poster, and maybe it's on like newsprint, which is kind of this ugly yellow cheap paper, right? So if you want some ugly yellow cheap paper, I would then go all the way to my background. So I might make a new layer, put it all the way underneath. Remember, down at the bottom, underneath, maybe call it background. And then, you know, give yourself a rectangle that is in the background. And then give it your ugly newsprint color. Something like that. Then if you wanted to, just like we were doing textures inside of our fruit, do you remember the textures in your fruit? If you really wanted to give a little bit of a texture, you can go, probably one of the ones that I would use would be the actual texturizer. Texturizer, it's underneath Effects, Texture, Texturizer. Under Texturizer, you have things like bumpy, you know, this kind of thing like this. And you can turn the relief down a little bit so it's not so dramatic, just a little bit like that. Now it's really not going to show up probably printed very much, but as you can see, you can get a little bit of paper texture. Again, this was called Texturizer, and I'm using the one that's called Sandstone, but they also have Canvas, they also have Burlap, and they also have Brick. I guess Brick isn't one, but Sandstone looks pretty good. You probably can't see it very well there. But if you, I can't zoom in, but it gives it a little bit of a texture in the background there. So if I zoom in, you can see, can you see a little bit of a texture there at all? Not really. It's because it's, on my screen you can see it a little bit. But you can add a little texture just like we did with the fruit, and it gives it a little paper kind of texture. And another thing is try to avoid putting too much graphics in the background. I'm going to do one more background here, and let's just say I went a little bit crazy, and I wanted to put the Eiffel Tower in the background because, you know, most of these paintings are done in Paris, right? And I'm thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool if the Eiffel Tower was in the background? So then, of course, I can go and steal a picture of the Eiffel Tower if I want. I spell Eiffel Tower. E-L. Eiffel. There it is. 2 F's. And there. And there. And we're going to steal this. Steal the Eiffel Tower. And we're going to paste it. So of course, it would be very difficult to read the text over top of the Eiffel Tower. So of course, what would we do? Add and change the transparency to it. To adjust the transparency to it, I would go and adjust the transparency. There you go, transparency right there. And in my transparency option, I would probably turn it down to maybe 20%. And then you would get a subtle photograph of the Eiffel Tower, and my text could still be readable, right? So, try to avoid, if you looked at the one, do you remember the one with the Picasso one, I think it was, over there, where they had a very, the background was very texturized. It's possible to get a nice look like that, but make sure it's just subtle enough that your text can read on top of that. Remember, you're supposed to draw something in the artist style. You're just not, I know I just threw things in here, right? I just slapped things. But you're supposed to make an illustration in the artist style, right? We all remember that? Because when you're up here with your printout, I'm going to say, oh, which part did you draw? And you're gonna say what? Or just lie and say I drew this part, right?
Not image trace, but mental, like action.
I want you to draw something in the artist style. It's practice. Don't just use image trace. It's a crutch.
Yeah.
What? That's horrible. It's a crutch. There. You don't use image trace.
Okay, well, what can do?
Pencil would be great. Yes.
I had it. So I just did an outline. So I draw some tights. Really?
Okay, last thing is if you want to frame, right? My pictures are kind of floating there, right? Remember the frame we put around up here? Look at this painting. This is beautiful painting by Toulouse-Lautrec. Look at that. Beautiful right here. Look at that. Oh. Okay. So, but it's just kind of floating there, right? Wouldn't it be nice if my picture actually had a frame around it? So a lot of times I might put a rectangle on the screen and then give it a stroke. If I can, why can't I give it a stroke? Stroke. There we go. And maybe even 2 points to make it there. No fill. See? A nice frame around my piece so that your painting doesn't float. It's float, right? Frame, just like a painting. Right? So think about that. Maybe give it a color frame. I'm going to go and put some frames in there. Frame. Why am I got a frame? Frame. Frame. And I was doing what, 2 point? There we go. Frame. Maybe put a frame. Frame. 2 point there. Frame. 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 Okay, so a little bit of frame. Align things up. So, I might want to move this down a little bit so that the top of the text lines up. How come I can't grab that path? Oh, I locked it. Oh, I put it in the wrong layer. Whatever. This text is a little boring. What is this font here? Try and keep fonts consistent. What font is this? Doesn't tell me what font. Where's the font? font. Oh, San Francisco Pro Display. There we go. And if you stole from Wikipedia, make sure you get rid of your little, there we go.
I have a question. Should we do biography or what kind of
Whatever text you want to write.
Oh,
Biography is good, or maybe a story.
okay.
Okay, so when you're pretty much done, you're saying, this is 100% A+.
Is it?
Right? I'm giving myself a grade, so I can give myself an A+. Okay. How can I print this out? Okay, some of the things that you would want to make sure is that you don't have font problems. So I'm going to take this to FedEx Kinko to get printed out. Do I want to? Do you think I would rely on them to have San Francisco font? So one way to get around that, of course, is to use a PDF. Okay, you could still have font problems, so you might convert the text to outlines as well. So I might say that I'm going to say 3 copies. One is an Illustrator file, one is a PDF, and then I'm going to take and create outlines of the text, and then save that as a PDF as well. Here we go. Again, I'm going to go and save my Illustrator file. Save my Illustrator file. Oh, and make sure you have what's another thing to keep in mind is make sure your pictures are not linked, right? Remember we talked about linking pictures? Again, make sure your pictures are linked. Here, see how these are all embedded? They're all embedded. Remember, if they say link next to them, you gotta save the original one, right? Okay. Even if it's a PDF. Okay, I'm going to go and make a PDF. Let's talk about making a PDF. Illustrator has a variety of ways of making PDFs. There's a lot of different settings in there. So if I choose Adobe PDF and I hit save, it's going to come up with a bunch of options. Look at all these options. So if you're having problems, and I have a very nice woman I work with, her name is Anna Marie, and she has a business called Tookies, where she makes, she has these ladies in India knitting these dishwash cloths. And all the ladies there in India knitting these dishwash cloths are all been either divorced or their husband left them. So they're single women, usually with children, and she has 100 of them working over there in India making these dishwash cloths. Beside the point, she's a wonderful woman. Beside the point, she often needs me to help her with graphics. And she's always asking me, oh, I want to email this to somebody, email that to somebody, and she's always saving PDFs to email them, but a lot of times the PDF is too big to email because there's like a 25 megabyte limit, right? Or 20 megabyte limit. And so, if you're trying to save space, the easiest way to do that when you're saving a PDF inside of Illustrator is to uncheck this. Now, you won't be able to edit it in Illustrator anymore, but it'll be a lot smaller. Let's do a test. Let's do a test. I'm going to save one with this box right here. It says Preserve Illustrator Editing Capabilities. I'm going to go and hit Save PDF. Uh-oh. And it's going to go and save it. Okay, I'm going to do another one. File, Save As. I'm going to choose PDF again. I'm going to call it number 2. Number 2. And let's see the file size difference. And let's see the file size difference. If I can find where I saved my file. So here we go. Artist number 1. 83.3 megabytes. Woo! I'm not emailing that. That's not going to get in, okay? Okay, well, let's check out door number 2. Door number 2. 83. Oh, it's the same size. See, I lied. Did I not check the box, or I did check the box? Maybe I didn't check the box. Let's try again. Let's call it 3. I didn't check the box, did I? Let's see. Turn it off. There we go. Now let's door number 3. Okay. See, I lied. Door number 3. Let's see. It's got to be smaller. 40 megabytes, half the size. Okay. So, and you can see how big it is. Mostly because I have photos in it, right? Under the background photo, right? And then all the little photos in there. That's why it's so big. Let's say you still can't get it small enough. I must email this to my friend. I must email. And she's always having to email her stuff to people in India, and she needs to squeeze it down to the size of a. I keep saying, why don't you just use download.com or something like that? So it's still too big. What can I do? Well, in the PDF option, you got more options. PDF. Let's give it a 4. Boy, we're going through 4 here. Turn that off, and then there's some compression options right here. See the compression options? Inside the compression, you can say you can downsample to a specific PPI, and I might go down to maybe 100. Average downsample to 100 PPI. And then I don't have any monochrome, do I, or grayscale. So there is a compression option here, and you can do some adjustments here. And I'm going to compress it. And then let me see. Yeah, that's most. Compress text and line art as well. Yes. Maybe even go down to even, let me try 75. Save PDF. Save. And let's see if it makes it even smaller. This was compressing the images. There is a compression option there. And now it's only 4.8 megabytes. Woo! Now that's easy to email. Quality of the pictures are pretty bad though. So now I'd say, well, I compressed it down to 75 PPI. It's not very good. Oh, maybe I can go up to 100 or 120 PPI, right? So again, now it's really small, 4.8 megabytes. Woo, but the quality is probably pretty bad. So if I'm trying to make it even smaller, I needed it to be 20 megabytes so I can email it. I can go under Save As. I can go to a PDF again. Let's try number 5, door number 5. I can hit Save. This time under compression, I went to 75. I could probably go to 110. Let's try 110 compression. It's basically recompressing the pictures that are already in the image. And if I hit Save PDF, let's see. Door number 5. Oh, that's only 5.5 megabytes. Boy, I could probably go up and even. So again, you can keep doing that over and over again till you get to a nice balance. Okay. The other thing you might want to do is you convert the text to outlines. Again, converting the text to outlines, you don't have to have font. Worry about font issues. If I select all and then go underneath type, I'd say remember create outlines will convert all the text to objects. The problem you run into though, of course, is I can't edit the text then. Once you do this, you can't go and change your text. But I'm just going to print this out, so I'm going to go under File, Save As. I'm going to save another PDF. We're going on number 6 now. Number 6, and then under compression, let's not downsample. Do not downsample. I'm not going to compress it. I'm going to leave it uncompressed because I'm just going to print it over there. And I'm going to hit Save PDF. Save PDF. Save PDF. Now, we do have a new printer that's over there, and I found some old paper, some glossy paper. And so we can try it over there. I've just done some tests over here so far. The glossy paper looks good. You can see this is matte paper, so it's kind of flat, right? The problem with matte paper is the quality of the image usually is not as good because the ink is being absorbed into the paper, right? Because it's not shiny. Where with glossy paper, the ink kind of sits on top. So you can see the difference between this one and this one, as far as this. So again, this is a roll I found. It's rather old. It's probably over 10 years old, but it seems to work still. And color balance, between this and what you have there. Of course, CMYK. Right? Remember we talked about using CMYK as our color. Okay, so CMYK is your color mode. The other thing to keep in mind is what format am I printing. Again, I made this at 11 by 17, which is also referred to as tabloid, which is also referred to as, in printing, A3. Okay, so A3 is going to be tabloid. The printers use different, in their brains they have an A1, A2, A3, and A4. Okay, all I know is A3 is tabloid. So keep that in mind, A3 is tabloid. So if I was going to print this out, and I'm going to go and print this right now, the only computer that can go to that printer is this one. Okay, let me stop my video, we don't need to go.